Being a manager in the customer service industry is not easy, but Melissa makes it seem easy. Her role is the assistant store manager at the Starbucks where I work. I started working with Melissa 9 years ago at a different store where the store manager was hard to work for. Even with a new store manager, I value her as a leader figure because she has been a consistent source of motivation and positivity for me since we met. Melissa meets the definition of leadership provided by the textbook Leadership, written by Michael Hackman and Greg Johnson, which is inclusive of meeting the needs and goals that are shared by the group by changing the behaviors and attitudes of the people around her. She encompasses the democratic leadership style because she displays supportive communication, is encouraging to the involvement and participation of her followers, and is open to outside suggestions. I'd like to explain why I chose to interview Melissa as a leader and how she is a great democratic leader. For my first point, I want to discuss how she meets the needs and goals that are shared by the group by changing the behaviors and attitudes of the followers, or in this case, the baristas. I asked Melissa what leadership qualities she is most proud of. She said, "I am most proud of the relationships that I have." Second, I asked her if there were any aspects of the way that she led that she wanted to improve on. She said that she wishes she would be able to let employees fail sometimes in order to foster independence. I then asked, being a manager, is there any way that you're constricted in terms of leadership? Melissa responded that yes, sometimes she has to meet corporate goals and it doesn't leave much room for letting her team incorporate their own ideas. This shows us that Melissa would like to solicit input from baristas regarding policies and procedures. I then asked Melissa, what are some qualities that are important to you as a leader? She said that having a positive work environment with her team is very important. She said she tries to set that tone. My second point is that she encompasses the democratic leadership style because she displays supportive communication, is encouraging to the involvement and participation of her followers, and is open to outside suggestions. I asked, how would you describe yourself as a leader? She said she thinks she expects a lot from her team, but tries to collaborate as much as possible. Next, I asked Melissa if she could share a little bit about her journey into a leadership position. She said she had to help raise her little brother because her mom was a single parent, so that's really when she started to learn about leadership. This tells us that Melissa was a forced emergent leader at first. I then asked, do you ever struggle with leadership? She responded, yes, there are certain situations that arise that test me as a leader and a manager, but I try to ask for feedback to help me improve. I followed with, what did you learn from the leaders that you've had in the past? She said that after the bad manager she had, she learned why it is so important to be supportive of her team, which she is. My last point is that Melissa differs from being a standard manager. Even though she has to plan, budget, organize, and staff, she also gives direction, aligns her followers or the baristas, and is motivational and inspirational. I asked her, how do you think baristas perceive you? She said, I know I'm tough on certain baristas, but that is what they need in order to be successful and productive. Some people need more of a push than others, is what she said. Lastly, I asked, do you think you would be a successful leader today if it weren't for the leaders you have worked under? Melissa responded that she has learned so much from the leaders she has worked for, good or bad, that there is no way she would have all the skills she has today if it weren't for the leaders she has had in the past. In conclusion, it is clear through this interview and through working with Melissa day to day that she displays democratic leadership styles by being encouraging, inclusive of her team, open to feedback, but also firm with her instruction. Even Melissa wanting to let employees fail comes from a place of teaching and trying to foster independence. Thank you.